Welcome to the Black Business Podcast, where we help Black entrepreneurs, Black business owners, and Black consumers connect their Black dollars. Now, here's your host, Jenny Jones.
Hello, it's great to be with you today. I'm your host, Jenny Jones, for the Black Business Podcast. And joining me today is Brother Keith Brown of Tracy, California, with First Priority Security Consulting. Today's show is brought to you by the $5 Marketing Garage, where all of your online digital marketing needs are met inside the garage. I'm super excited. Me and this brother have been playing tag and trying to catch up with each other, but I finally got him an opportunity, had him sit down on the hot seat here today on the show, and we finally had time to get him in here. He has a busy schedule, but he was able to join us today. So listen, on the Black Business Broadcast, you know we connect entrepreneurs, small businesses, and consumers with their Black dollars. And I wanted to bring this brother to you guys. Listen, this is Brother Keith Brown with First Priority Security Consulting. Brother, welcome to the show.
Hey, Jenny, thank you. Thank you for having me this evening. Appreciate the opportunity.
Hey, no problem, brother. Listen, I saw you training somebody online. I said, oh, I got to get that brother on here because people need to know where he's at. I said, as a matter of fact, I need to know where he's at because my wife is giving me a hard time, but we'll talk about that. So listen, if you and I were getting on an elevator, as I take most of my guests when they first get on with me, I'm taking them up to the 47th floor. Listen, give me your elevator pitch, man. Who are you? What do you do?
Well, I would say, hey, my name is Keith Brown. I own my own company, First Priority Security Consulting. I'm a firearms trainer. I also train the 8 and 32-hour security guards, so you get your initial security guard license. I do private event and private security for parties, any type of event. I also scale up churches, schools for disaster training to be prepared for the event, to recover from the event with a full-scale on-site training and hands-on event-type training. I do private security, private firearms instruction, as well as I'm certified in basic pistol, rifle, and shotgun instruction. And I also have a personal protection in the home where I come out and survey your personal residence and give you instruction in case of an event at your home where you can protect yourself and your family members and respond when the police respond and you not be a victim of the police mistaking you for the bad guy.
Wow, man. I didn't know you did all that, man. This show might go a little bit long, but listen, we're going to try to stay on point here. That's a lot of stuff that you do, man. And I know that you and I both know, right? A lot of people's like, hey, we should have been doing this. I'll admit we should have been doing this a long time ago, but you know, a lot of us are wanting to get our instruction. A lot of us are wanting to get licensed. So listen, I mean, it's a lot to digest what you do, but for our audience, what do you think? I mean, because they could be looking at you for protection of their church or survey their home or something like that. But let's concentrate on this one piece here. Let's talk about the getting the license and stuff like that. And if it's difficult, if it's not difficult, let's talk about that first. Let's talk about that.
And that's a good point you made with protection the church and the schools. Remember, the first thing we have to do, and we are allowed by the Second Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, is to protect yourself.
Okay.
The licensing requires that you, in the state of California, obtain a firearms safety certificate.
Okay.
That's a study manual and a 30-question true, false, multiple choice test, which is pretty common sense. But I have a course and a class that gives you that whole basic study guide, the test, and some initial hands-on firearm safety, how to properly handle, how to properly aim and hold a firearm. That's my basic course. So it's not a lot of money. You can take that course for $95. And then, of course, I have the basic firearms, which I actually will train you to hit the target where you want to hit it, when you want to hit it.
Okay, so we're gonna unpack a little bit of that later because I want to take people down a path. So as you answer, try to remember that I I'm trying to take people down because a lot of people are total novices to this, right? You want to get married to, man, I'm gonna have you shooting a double barrel, man, before we leave this call. And I know you do all of that, but I'm trying to take a basic person that's maybe see this video on YouTube or maybe see this video on our Facebook page or something like that. They say, man, listen, where do I start? So you're basically saying if a person call you, set up an appointment, schedule an appointment with you, or from your website or from your Facebook page, we'll talk about that a little bit later. But if they're calling you for the initial consult, is that what it is? Or they're just calling you and say, hey, listen, where do I start? I don't have no license, no weaponry. You're saying you start with that first piece first, that question.
Yes, you would start with my basic firearm safety course.
Okay.
Which gives you the instruction how to properly handle a firearm, store a firearm, what ammunition is, all the rules and laws that will govern you by the state of California to keep you safe and keep you out of the purview of law enforcement.
So we start with that first, right? And just for the people or the viewers, because this is all 50 states we're talking to. You're basically just licensed in the state of California, right? Do you do any type? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yes, I'm a certified instructor for the entire state of California.
Okay, I just want to make sure that that's clear, right? Because if somebody outside of California may see this, then their rules may apply in their state differently. But what you're basically saying is there should be some type of certification first before you can just walk in the store and get a firearm. Maybe some states are different though, right?
That is exactly correct. Some states, just like you said, you can walk in the door and walk out with a firearm. California is particularly restrictive with their firearm laws.
Okay, so you're basically saying, listen, I'm gonna dial it back. You're saying, listen, what I'm telling you for the state of California, it may be a little bit softer where you're at, but I know California, for everything that they do, I'm in the financial industry, for everything we do, is always another level, right? It's always another level or layer of security built into it, because that's just how we roll. Or it's another way we find a way to tax you, right?
That is correct.
We're going to charge you for this, charge you for that. I'm being funny, but I'm being serious at the same time. And so there is going to be so you're saying, hey, he's certified for the state of California, for those of you listening, but are you open to pointing someone if they contact you and say, hey, listen, brother, I don't know, I'm going to shoot you an email. If you could kind of tell me where I should go in my state, or where should I start in my state? Is that something that do you do or you don't do, or you stay away from that? I'm just trying to ask for people that may.
Oh, no, I have 23 years of law enforcement.
Okay.
3 different states, and I'm certified with the federal government. If a person from out of state called, I would get their information and definitely would get back to them, do a little research. Google is my best friend.
Okay.
And I don't want to leave anybody in the dark. Second Amendment is for all of us, and Second Amendment covers the entire United States.
Oh, that's awesome, man. I really appreciate that, because you're a unicorn, right? It ain't too many of you, right?
I've been told that before.
And what I mean by that is it's not a lot of us doing that, definitely in our community. Because for me, even when my wife came to me, she's like, hey, I want to go. I'm ready. I'm like, are you sure? Because I'm ex-military, so it don't matter to me, 50 cal M16, I can do my thing, 9mm Glock, whatever we trying to do, I can do that. But my wife says she's ready. I said, okay, well, I wanted to try to work with somebody that looks like me, right? Initially, right. Because I know you mean me well. You're not going to you're not going to lead me down a road. And not saying that nobody else would, but initially I want to try and get what I need from you. So I'm glad you were able to find time to join us. So now listen, so what a person has is, you're saying, hey, I have a couple of packages. That's the starter pack, right? And so tell me what the starter pack would be. So that you said that's $95, it gets you caught up and prepare you to be able to pass your certification, right?
Yes, I am certified to give you the firearm safety certificate test.
Okay. Oh, so I could take that test with you.
Correct.
Okay, I didn't know it. Okay, this gets even better. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
When you leave that course, you should leave here with your firearm safety certificate, which qualifies you then, as long as you pass the rest of the state's requirements, to walk into any gun store and purchase the firearm.
So when you say rest of the requirements, I'm assuming that's Social Security certificate. I mean, your Social Security. What other requirements are there? Are there any other hurdles you think we may run into? Let me ask you that question.
Oh, yes. You must not have a limited criminal record. Felonies will prohibit you for life from the state of California from possessing a firearm. Domestic violence will limit or prohibit you. And you can go to the California DOJ.gov when they will have a listing of what is permissive and what is not. When you go to a gun store, you must take your driver's license. It does not have to have your correct address, but if it doesn't have your correct address, a property deed, a rental application, your car registration, and a government document that has your correct address.
Okay. All right. I got you. So anything, I mean, so once those ducks are in a row, listen, no felony, right? No domestic violence. And those are things you didn't really want to get into the list, but you're like, hey, those are some major roadblocks. They're not going to be able to allow you to get a firearm. Okay. So I got that. So no felonies. Okay. So I got that. So then once they do that, then do they come back to you for another instruction on how to fire? Because I'm trying to work this through my wife, and maybe there's a single lady out there or something like that. She want to protect herself. So I want to go through the track. So what would then happen after that?
So that was just the basic course to get you to touch a firearm, know how to safely handle a firearm. The next course will be there's a basic pistol course.
Okay.
Now, you can bypass the basic firearm safety course because that's mixed in with the basic pistol course. But if you take them 1, 2, 3, 4, there's a discount because the course is part of this. All the safety part is repetitive.
Oh, actually, got you.
So in the pistol course, of course, the first, if you have never touched a firearm or it's been years or once or twice, I have a different technique for firearms where we start in my backyard with airsoft, which is plastic BBs.
Okay,
because
got you.
My professional theory and personal, if you can't hit the target with a BB, why are you wasting bullets at the range?
Because bullets cost.
Because bullets, what did Chris Rock, 5,000 a bullet? And we have this foolishness stopped out here.
No, I got you, and that makes sense. Okay, so then so then after that, so you say, hey, listen, so really, let's go through the timeline then. So a person so really in 2 weekends, I could be ready to roll, or my wife could be ready to roll. You're saying you can basically do it in a weekend, but you're saying, babe, listen, if you go one Saturday, then follow up on the second Saturday, is that what you're saying? Or what are you saying?
If you took my pistol course with no prior hands-on knowledge of firearm, we would go in the backyard. Depending on how well you progress with the airsoft in the yard would determine whether you needed another backyard airsoft or whether your next trip we'd have airsoft in range or it was just all airsoft. I make it my professional determination of when you are ready to go to the range because that's a different experience for non-shooters altogether.
Oh, okay. So, but then, so is that another course level where you say, okay, now you're ready for the range? You then go with them to the range. You meet them at the range. Is that what you do? Oh, you take them.
Yes.
Okay. So this is serious. So listen, now I'm gonna ask the next question, right? So give us a little bit, take us about, 2 minutes or so to kind of take us through your background and what qualifies you to be at the federal level and at the state level. Who are you as far as your background? Why should I be bringing my wife to you to teach you? I'm just answering for somebody else, but I'm just giving you an example. So yeah, take me through your background.
I have 23 years of law enforcement. Okay. I'm a certified police officer in Illinois, Missouri, and the federal government. I have a federal certification in active shooter threat, which is AR-15 rifles and pistols. I have a federal certification in the use of force. I have National Rifle Association certifications in pistol, rifle, shotgun, and personal protection in the home, as well as a certification as a chief range safety officer and a safety officer for the range. I started my firearms instruction in 2007 in St. Louis, Missouri, under a master firearms instructor who could shoot the wings off a mosquito. So
Wow.
I've had, yeah, he was good. I'm still trying to get that good. So I had 13 years of firearms training, and then I decided that it was, while I was here in Tracy, I looked around and like you thought, man, there's a lot of opportunity, but there are a lot of people who need a guy like me who allow us to exercise the same Second Amendment
Hey,
that guys
brother.
running up in the State House in Michigan wear tattooed to their chest
Oh man, I
with
hear you.
an AR-15 slung over it.
So you know what? I appreciate that, man. And like I said, you was hard to find. Now there's another young lady. I haven't been able to catch up with her either. There's another young lady. I want to say she is out of the Sacramento area. I'm gonna have to catch up with her and try to understand, get her understanding. Maybe we can put you two together and we can do some. I don't know, but I hear she's pretty nice with that pistol. So I don't know. I just hear about her. People are talking about her. I can't find her on Instagram or anything like that. I'm not trying to bring her up into this. What I'm saying is there's a female out there and you're out there. So I want to be able to, when I'm bringing these people to this platform, I'm trying to let people know, listen, there's people out here that you want to spend your black dollars with and want to support you. You're a pretty qualified brother, man. I didn't know that. I mean, people told me from afar, oh, this is good. I went to did the airsoft thing. I'm like, okay, yeah, I want to know a little bit more. But man, you laid out you laid out a smorgasbord of certifications, and I applaud you for that, man. And so I like what you're doing out here. So let me ask you this. So how many students do you see on a monthly basis, or has that changed, you know, during the pandemic? Has that gone up a little bit, or talk to me a little bit about that?
Actually, after the pandemic struck and we all had our really fearful period of staying away from people,
Right.
it's picking up, because the other end of the pandemic and George Floyd is we're more and more becoming woke that I need to protect myself out here.
Yeah.
You know,
At first it was like, now it's like, oh, okay.
exactly. Oh,
Okay.
you know, we got the pandemic. You couldn't get a piece of roll of toilet paper at the store. You couldn't get, so when you can't get, where are you going to get?
Oh, that's a good point. So let me ask you this. Now we are in California, right? And so this is not a concealed state or something like that, right? Or I can't have my gun hidden or something like that. Is that correct?
That's correct. Very, very difficult in the state of California for Joe Citizen to obtain a concealed carry permit. I was retired from law enforcement. San Joaquin County didn't give me one.
Okay, got you. So I'm trying to figure out the difference, because if I'm riding around, you know, in my ride, right, and I have a pistol maybe in a glove box just in case, right, and so if somebody came to my car, first thing I got to let them know is, hey, I have a firearm in the glove department. Is that you let them know first? You don't want them to find out. Tell me what's going on.
If you have a pistol in your glove box,
Yes.
you're going to jail.
Really?
Yes.
Because it's concealed?
Illegal to carry a firearm, loaded or unloaded, in your glove box, even if it's in a locked container.
Really? So I can't, okay, so back up now. So I can't carry a pistol at all, or do it have to be on a seat, or it just can't be concealed in the glove box? Work with me through that.
No, it cannot be in the glove box in any shape, form, or fashion. In your vehicle, it has to be in the trunk.
Oh, okay. You know, man, we just helped somebody. I know you just helped me, right? And so people don't know that, but that's good, man. You deep, man. Y'all need to get in touch with this brother, man. We're going to have his information at the end. But I think that's very, very good that you have that. I'd almost want to see you in a capacity where you're trying to give some basic stuff to us, right? And instead of, I'm saying put some stuff out there so people can find you with some basic tutorials or something like that. I'm not trying to tell you how to run your business. What I'm trying to say is you just laid out some basic stuff that some of us probably even struggle with, right? The reason why I don't want to get a pistol, because I don't want nobody to roll up on me. We see the videos, right? We see where cop coming up, he got his hand on his gun already. You're like, whoa, what is that about, right? And so when they come up to you, regardless if they black and white, whoever come up to you, you let them know at that point, hey, I do have a firearm in the trunk. Is that what you do? Or you want them to find out, or you tell them? That's what I'm saying.
Because it's not unlawful for you to have a firearm in your trunk.
Oh, so I don't really have to tell them.
No, you
Okay.
do not.
Okay.
Because unless he has a search warrant for your trunk, why is he
Oh,
going in your trunk?
right. You got to have a search warrant. Why?
He
Okay.
has to have probable cause, reasonable suspicion, because if he stopped you in your car for a lawful traffic violation, you ran a light, you were speeding, you were driving erratically, see, that's you. That's not your trunk.
Right. So let's stick to the issue at hand. You said I was speeding, so here you go. Here's my license and registration. Right. All the extra. I don't have to get into. Oh, okay. But before you do that, I got a fire. I don't have to get into that.
No.
Is that what you're saying? Okay. I'm just trying to make sure, right? I'm trying because somebody may see this, and that's really our issue. Some of us with law enforcement is we want to make sure it's really effective communication. That's really what it is at the end of the day, and trying to be. You don't have to be erratic. You don't have to be, hey, I'm doing. And I've told my boys is, hey, listen, man, you do what the officer tell you to do. Ain't no back talking, ain't none of this, and ain't no lip and all that. Just, hey, here you go, officer, whatever, and just be polite. And we know and we hear there's been instances where it don't actually go like that, but I'm gonna err on the side of I've did everything you've asked me to do. That's what I'm gonna err on. So you're saying we shouldn't really have no issues. That's what you're saying.
That's correct. Traffic violations are traffic violation.
Okay.
Whatever you do with the traffic violation has nothing to do with my trunk. If you have a concealed carry permit, there's two schools of thought.
Okay.
The laws, the training says, tell the officer you have a concealed. That didn't work out for Fernando Castillo.
Oh, okay. Try to be nice, right? We try to do that.
Did
right.
everything the law his teachers and his class taught him.
Mm-hmm.
That did not work out.
Interesting.
So is
I never thought of it
information like better, depending, or is more information better? I just had this same text message discussion with my twin brother in Minnesota about what or how you talk to police, whether you're armed or unarmed with a CCW or you're just Joe citizen.
Wow. Okay. So that's very, very good information to know. All right. So let's go back to your packages, right? Because I want to make sure if people want to reach out to you and they want to connect with you. So we do got the starter pack or the pack to get you going, license, basic license. You have discussions with us and see, hey, has this person fired before? If they're not, I'm gonna know real quick. They can talk all that stuff, they can fire, but then they get up there, they can't handle an air rifle. Then we got to go back to square one. Then I got to go and do some additional training, right? So that's one package, right? Yeah. And then is the next package once I'm qualified to go to the range? Is that the next package, the range package? How does that work?
The basic pistol, the range is contained within the basic pistol package. It's just from at what level are you at when I determine you are ready to go to the range.
Okay,
that may be first trip, second trip, third trip, but there's no additional expense after you pay for the class. That's just how I teach, right? And I don't talk about other instructors, what their program is. This is Keith Brown's program.
Okay.
I've been doing this for 13 years.
Okay, so is that part of my $95? You said the range is about $95. Is that part of my $95 package?
That's part of the $219 basic pistol course.
Okay, so the 95 package was what then? Just the certification?
Is the basic firearms, safe handling, the firearms, the state test, and what I'll call clinking in the backyard with the airsoft to just get you, because if you've never handled a firearm, to get you used to what does this feel like in my hand? How do I sight? How do I land? How do I breathe? All the basics of handling a firearm, so you are prepped for the next course when you decide that now you want to purchase a firearm. I want to really learn how to shoot. I want to go to the range.
So if I'm understanding you correctly, because I'm a finance guy, I'm out of about $300, maybe $325, $350 before I'm ready to even start looking for a pistol.
Well, be close to 300 because I said, if you take the initial course and you take the pistol course, there is a discount for second, third, and fourth course because the safety part is repetitive So
Oh,
I'm
I
not
see.
going
Got you.
to have us pay for something you already
We've
took.
already went. Okay, so then, yeah, we had around $300. So now, then let me ask you this, right? So, and then we're gonna talk about a couple more packages and stuff as we kind of wrap it up. But listen, so as we do that, right? What would be a good entry level weapon for maybe a single mom or somebody at home trying to protect their family and her kids? What do you think? What do you found to be? And it really depends on the person, I know. But what do you found to be a good entry level that once they go through, or maybe they go through another certification, or maybe they have a certification, they just haven't gone and picked out a pistol yet. What do you think is a good starter pistol for mama trying to protect her family? Is just her.
No,
I'm just asking.
pistols like their purses are a matter of personal selection.
Gotcha.
The most important thing for two things for a pistol is it comfortable in your hand,
Okay.
so that if and when you have to pick it up, it's just a second thought. It's not, oh, it's too big or it hurts or that, this, that, and the other. It's just as natural as picking up her purse. And the second, how difficult is it for me to disassemble and reassemble this firearm when I for maintenance and cleaning?
Okay, so it's almost like a DNA type thing. A woman that knows, like, yep, this the one. This the one that feel right. It's got the nice kick. It's got the nice jump to it. Ain't gonna jump out my hand. Is that what, so a woman? You'll kind of partner up a woman with a good size pistol. You say, hey, for your style, how does this one feel? And then you say, yeah, this is a good one for you. And she'll be like, yeah, this is a good one for. Is that so? It's kind of an agreement thing.
There's a range of pistols: subcompact, compact, mid-size, full size, and it depends on a person's strength, their hand strength, and their comfort level.
Okay.
Because I have some ladies that full-size pistol is no problem. Some, and it's a matter of, like I said, it's a matter of personal preference. I have a full range from subcompact to mini, Derringer to full size, and you can put your hands on all of them here to feel what that feels like. Pistols, revolvers, whatever your preference, you will get to feel all of those here and have a general idea of what it is you may or may not like. When you go to the range, depending on the range, they'll have 25 to 40 pistols that you can try out. Shoot on the range, and you'll get to feel what recoil and kick level is comfortable to you.
Okay, so when you go to the range, is that hourly, or is that you get a full clip, or you get a certain box of bullets, or you bring? I mean, so how does that work once you get to the range?
The range here, if you go to the range with me and Tracy, it's $10 range fee, and what you pay for your ammunition.
Oh, but they had pistols.
Yes, they can have. Oh no, I got pistols.
Well, we've gathered that. We've gathered that.
Yeah, we got that part. But if there's something there that you see in the case that you might want to try, then that's good. But I got pistols. I got rifles. I got shotguns.
See, we might get there. My wife be like, "Oh, I want the pink one." I'm like, "Nah, baby, we need some stopping power."
Yeah, that tritium. Yeah. No, they have a full range, but I have a full range from 22, 380, 9mm. The basic, what people hear, we all hear 9mm.
Right.
And that's for rarely the standard. Right. It will do all the damage you need it and want it to do.
He said, listen, we can start with that one and we can work our way on up.
We can get to at 9mm, you can do all the damage you want to do.
We talking about protecting ourselves, right? Because we don't, this is all self-defense. We're, so safety first, right? And so you teach us all the safety and how to break it down and try to make sure that the safety lock is on and stuff for protection, even within your own home, as far as keeping it from kids, keeping it on shelves and stuff like that. So all those things you go through, that's part of your basic training, and try to make sure a person understands and all that. Okay, so we got all that. So are there any other advanced packages, right? Does a person say, man, I'm good. I used to fire shotgun, right? I'm good, right? I'm talking like the dude, right? I'm good. I want to be able to handle some a little bit. So you have an upgraded package for that person, man or woman?
I have a private instruction, which is $75 an hour.
Okay.
If you think you're at that level, but you having a issue or not quite, then you can, and you have your own, you already have your firearm safety certificate, you have your firearm, you telling me you're Dead-Eye Dan.
I'm Dead-Eye Dan.
Even
Man,
when Dead-Eye Dan comes
I can hit the
over,
wing off a mosquito, man. I'm good.
no, Dead-Eye Dan is gonna get that airsoft in the backyard first.
No, I know. Yeah, you gotta see how Dead-Eye Dan is working.
I'm fine with that, but you got to show me what you're working with.
No, that's good, man. Man, listen, I appreciate you. I don't think a lot of people know about you, but they're gonna know about you after this podcast. Again, the podcast, and a lot of people be asking, and I think this is a good opportunity for me to share. I was just, man, I can't find your podcast in iTunes or Google or Spotify. We're on Podbean podcasting platform. And the reason why we're on that platform is because they're the only ones that do the podcasting with the video, right? So I wanted everybody to come onto my platform. I want people to see these Black faces. I want people to see these faces, and that's a man I can trust. So, man, I'm gonna go to Mr. Keith Brown. I like him. I like his style. I can identify him. If I see him, I know who he is. Hey, use that brother on that podcast. Yeah, man, let me get your card or whatever. So really, all of my podcasts are different. I wanted it to be different. I didn't want it to be just listening. I wanted it to be video so people can see these Black people that they're going to spend their Black dollars with, and they can connect with them. And so I think that was a good segue for me, the opportunity to be able to share that. But right now, I kind of want people to know where they can find you, to be able to link up with you and to be able to try to hire you or, something of that nature. Where can they find you? Where we have any good, Instagram, Twitter, what?
My phone number is 510-736-4333, or you can email me at Keith Brown at the number 1, P as in Paul, S as in Sam, C as in Charles, the dash sign, L as in Lincoln, L as in Lincoln, C as in Charles.com. That's Keith Brown at 1psc-llc.com. You can find me at First Priority Security Consulting on Facebook. My website was crashed. It's in the being remade right now.
Recovery stages, okay.
Yeah, that's 1psc-llc.com. And if I could, a couple of more things.
Sure.
Coming soon, I will be a live scan fingerprint operator.
Okay.
And I also just I'm in the process of getting my Notary Public stamp. So I'll be offering the full service, because when you go to get your security guard, you have to have your fingerprints. Nurses have to have their fingerprints.
Okay.
So and that will be mobile, and you can arrange that Wednesday or after hours. I'll be mobile after hours, because I recognize everybody with fingerprints stops at 6. So I'm gonna open for 6 to 11.
Boy, that is an African American for you. We gonna find a way to get to you to make sure that we're gonna make that business. I was talking to one of my other guests a couple of interviews back, and I said, man, listen, as African Americans, we are some of the most creative people, right? And so what you're saying is, listen, I'm mobile. So all the other places, the federal building or whatever that do those live scans, they close at 3, they close at 4. Right. And then because of COVID, they only open till noon.
That's right.
And what you're saying, but in order for you to start that job, you need that fingerprint. Right. And so, and you're saying, hey, I'm mobile. Now, I don't know what areas you cover, but I'm sure once somebody contacted you, they would be able to share that with you. And then you say, yeah, I'm not going to be able to get out that far, or you can meet me halfway. We can do a premium. I'll charge you a premium, but I want you to get your fingerprints and get your job. Right. Never want to stop nobody from making their money.
That's
but
right.
It's like, listen, I'm not finna drive way to Milpitas tonight, right? As a joke, because Milpitas is a little bit of ways from Tracy, or even on the other side of San Jose. And so, and that may be something you may do on a weekend or something, or maybe you guys can meet halfway in Livermore or something like that. I'm just throwing that out there, but you are open to, hey, I'll come out a little bit, but I ain't finna go way on the other side of SoCal or nothing like that.
You know how Have Money Will Travel talks.
That's, it's funny. I was talking to another guest. He said, man, listen, if it's I'm going to make it happen. Right. If it's right, I'm going to make it happen. So no, I appreciate that. And so what I'll do is, as we kind of close, I'll ask you something, and I'm gonna see if you've been listening in to our podcast. But listen, do you have anything? Because I'm gonna put you in our mall at shop theblackbusinesspodcast.com. We have a mall. You're gonna find his information there. You're gonna find his contact. I know he gave y'all a crazy URL, but you'll be able to find him there. If you need to find him there, you'll find his contact information there. You'll find his Facebook there. And you're going to be able to find him there if you shop. And that's where all of our guests will be. But listen, do you have anything special for any listeners or viewers of this podcast for this segment? You say, listen, because I know for a fact you listen to this segment, here's what I'm going to do for you. Do you have anything like that? If you don't, that's fine. But I was just wondering, I put all of because I want my clients to have something. If people reach out and they're listening and they find them on this podcast, I want them to be able to say, hey, listen, I got a $2 coupon. That's all I can do or whatever. So do you have anything for the people?
Okay, Jenny, that's a good one. I tell you what, just for you and for the podcast, I will give the $219 course. If you take a basic course, I'll take that down to $199.
Oh, that's good.
If they mention the podcast.
They got to mention the podcast, though.
Got to mention the podcast.
Okay.
And it'll be $199.
Woo! Now we got you on record now.
Oh, it's man. A man's word is his bond.
Man, I'm messing with you.
No, on the street 23 years. All I had.
That's all you got is your word. No, and I appreciate that. And the reason why I said, because all of my guests, right? I tell them, I say, hey, are you listening to the podcast? Oh yeah, I'm listening to the podcast. I done heard every episode. Okay, then you would know. I may or may not ask you that. So here's what I will say. I appreciate that. Because our listener and viewership is increasing, but I want people to know, hey, I was a unicorn over off here in Tracy. And because you were on this platform, I was able to find you. But we're not going to tell you about the discount unless you listen to this podcast. And he's not going to be there when you sign up. He's just going to put you down for the full price. Right. But unless
right. 19. Do you know something? I might try to give you a hint.
No, man, we're not giving hints. You got to be in the right place at the right time, man. That's what we're trying to do. And that's why I want people to tune in. I want them to subscribe. I want them to share. What we're trying to do on this platform is we're trying to discover brothers like Brother Keith Brown. I did not know this brother, but I said, man, if I didn't know him, and I know a lot of people, right? And if I didn't know this brother, and if I didn't know him, then a whole lot of other people do not know him. And I said, man, we need to get him on. People need to know who he is. And so I think that's a good thing, especially in this time, right? We want to be, maybe make sure we have it. Now, let me ask you one other question as we kind of bring it to a close. And again, I want you guys to be able to subscribe. We are on Facebook. So we're on Facebook as The Black Business Podcast. Right. You can find us Facebook, The Black Business Podcast, or you can download the podcast at theblackbusinesspodcast.com. It'll take you right to the podcast, or you can find out about our guests at Shop The Black Business. Put shop in front of The Black Business Podcast.com, and you're going to find all of our guests. All of them have a deal. All of them have a little something for you, because we want you to keep your black dollars in our community, right? And that's what we want to do. So let me ask you this question, right? So as we kind of wrap up, let me ask you this question. So do you have people that you trust that we can go and purchase our pistols from, right? Do you have different shops? Did you already have relationships with one? Because a lot of it is about relationships, right? So do you have shops that we know would say, hey, hey, Brother Keith Brown sent me, they'd be like, all right, okay, I ain't going to try to take you over here or make you pay too much over. Do you have any of those relationships? I just wanted to ask that before we close out.
Well, the problem right now is with what we were discussing, every COVID and George Floyd, firearms are scarce and limited.
Well, now you could have led the show with that, man. That's some very important information.
Yeah, they are. Most purchases, my last 4 were all online.
Oh, interesting.
Don't get discouraged. I have applied for my FFL 01, which would allow me to purchase and sell firearms to my students, and hopefully that will be about 6 weeks.
Man, so listen, you a one-stop shop, man. You a unicorn. I found you. Here's what I am going to tell you, right? And I'm going to put this out here for everybody. We coming to you. We're going to support you. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to videotape it, right? And I'm going to put that on the Black Business Podcast website because I'm a man of my word. We're going to support you. My wife and I, she has been on me. I said, all right, babe, let me, I got you. Then you come across my feed. I said, God, you good, right? I got to be able to protect my family. I want my wife to feel protected, right? Because I'm going to do what I do, right?
Right.
But I want her to be protected. And so we're going to, you and I, we're going to link up, right? And we're going to set it up and I'm going to be out there. I'm going to take her through the whole training. You know me, I'm ex-military, man. I can do what I do. I had to get back into it, but I started at the mid-grade. Like bike ride. As soon as you get on it, got to aim down the sights, right? You know what I'm saying? And so, no, I appreciate that. You guys heard it here, right? He gave you guys a discount for all the students and all that. I am going to patronize his brother, and I want you guys to take him up on his services. And what I will say, and I am very impressed. You just go, you say, hey, this is a need. I'm going to go get this certification. And if people know, because I'm in the financial industry, if people know how hard it is to get some of this paperwork, they want to know everything about you. They want to know where you was at, where was you at 15 years ago. They want to come out and interview your neighbors and all that. Some of these certifications are hard to get. And those are a lot of upfront costs that he has to put out for to get the certification and insurances. So you guys need to support this brother. Now, before we close out, do you have anything to share with the people, whether, our audience is entrepreneurs, small business owners, right? If you have anything to share with them about COVID changes, anything like that, small business owners or the consumer, do you have any parting words you want to leave with them as we kind of wrap this podcast up for the day?
Please, everyone, listen to the doctors and the scientists. When you come to my class, there are masks required, footies, gloves, disinfectant wipes. All that is here, and to your comfort level, you can use or not use. But we practice social distancing, and I follow the doctor's suggestions as to how we protect ourselves in our environment here today, until we get a hold of this COVID and get rid of it.
Okay. Listen, you guys heard it here from Brother Keith Brown. Is it First Priority
Security Consulting?
First Priority Security Consulting, right? And so reach out to him. I'm gonna have his contact information up on our mall. You'll be able to find him. We're gonna do something real big at the end of the year. You guys better subscribe or you're gonna miss out. But this brother's gonna be a part of that too. I love what he had to say. Man, I am impressed. You can do fingerprints, mobile fingerprints. He does a certification. He can get you going. This is a good brother to know. And he's going to know if you need to get a pistol or a firearm, he's going to know where to go and get it online and all that. But you'll have all your certification. You'll be able to do all of that. This is a good brother, man. This is some good information. Support this brother. That's what we're trying to do out here. Hey, subscribe, share. Let people know we're growing. We want you to find these Black businesses that people keep saying they can't find. Well, I'm finding them for you. Take care. Until next time. God bless. Peace.
Okay, thank you. Fingerprinting in about a month. And if you really listen to the podcast, I'll take $10 off of the basic $95 class.
There y'all go. We still giving the juice.
Thank you for listening to the Black Business Podcast, where we help Black entrepreneurs, Black business owners, and Black consumers connect their Black dollars. Hosted by Jenny Jones. If you like what you heard, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to our podcast. If you want to learn more about all our podcast guests and spend your Black dollars with them, visit our online store at shopblackbusinesspodcast.com.